nice cozy morning in the cabin for my last full day. As I sit here awaiting the morning coffee to quit perking. You can hear the light rain on the roof. May sound like a heavy rain, but it's just a light tapping rain. Last night, because it was supposed to rain, I knew the forecast, and I wasn't going to even think about sleeping out, but just before I went to bed, I stepped out, took a chair outside, I was going to sit, and the sky was no moon, just the inky black and Milky Way and all its glory, so I ended up grabbing my sleeping pad, and in a few minutes I was all set up outside. And I knew it wouldn't last all night, but I think about 4 a.m. felt a few sprinkles on my face, and I got up and came inside to finish up my night's sleep. And the advantage of that was I threw a log in the fire at that time, so when I rolled out this morning, the cabin was nice and toasty. Coffee water was sitting on top of the wood stove, so it didn't take very long at all to bring it up to a perk, and I think it's time. Plenty of time to get packed up today, so sit here and enjoy some good fireside cabin time on a kind of a wet morning. But maybe a wet morning, but weather-wise for the last month it's been really nice. I think virtually any rain that I did get always came at night. Even today, I think this is gonna blow over and maybe be an occasional shower every once in a while. But weather-wise, it's been so good, and I know that looking at the forecast, we're kind of moving into even cooler than normal temps up here instead of being better than normal like it's been. And didn't get any snow this trip, but if I think I've hung around another day or two, it would be here. Not elastic snow, just those morning flurries and turning the ground white. So it's been good. When I have a hard day planned, I like to start off with a good hearty breakfast like this, but today's not going to be a real hard day, but it's kind of like I've got all this food left, so I'm going to combine a few things here and have a very hearty breakfast of some venison steak, farm fresh eggs, and some hash browns. I forgot the line, but as I grew up, somehow this was always a little quip. I think my dad would say it had to do with some animal getting the tail caught in something, and it says, "It won't be long now." After this, it may be a little while before I can have room for one of Bonnie's world famous cherry pies. Yeah, I got maybe 4 out there, and have one today and a few for the road tomorrow. I'm in good shape. Yeah, it's still raining. It really made it an ideal day to be packing things away. And obviously when I return it's going to be cold, so all of these summertime cottons can be packed away in one tub, and the wools and the polypropylene that I'll be using on my next visit can be kept out and easy to get to. Really nice having all that water so I could be putting everything away nice and clean. Oh, there's poly that goes in the winter garb. Short sleeve shirts. Not much use for those coming up. These are long sleeved, I'll call them my bug shirts. Won't need to worry about those for a while. It's really nice having all these clothes up here because no matter what the season, I know that I'm covered. I don't need the camo up here, but they're a nice heavy fabric and make a really nice work pant. And more for the cold weather gear. I think that light duty is full enough. Won't be able to keep the lid on tight if I put anything more in there. That'll work. Now, when it comes to the wintertime thing, it's really nice to know that I have a backup. Plenty of extra wool. Here are the heavy polypropylene bottoms. They're very important. Good. I got a top. Of course, I'll be wearing a set in, but it's always nice to have at least one set here for laundry and to change out. This checkered green plaid, that's one of my favorites up here, but really hard to come by in this part of the country. I think I've heard that they like it in Maine. Maybe I need to make a big road trip, hit the second-hand shops. People have wondered sometimes where all my wool comes from, and these are like a medium weight wool. They're military. Sometimes we were buying those of lots of 5 apiece on eBay in the earlier days, but then a lot of the heavier wool came from the second-hand shops. But in the later years, that whole market seems to have, well, maybe all the old closets have gotten cleaned out, and you just don't find as much as you did a few years ago. But I'm good for the rest of my life. I've been packing up over here and get things cleaned up. I just wanted to give a little run through here on the electrical system. Now, you know, I got 12-volt solar panels outside, and I charge old 12-volt car batteries that have been taken out of a vehicle because they're too old, but they still work fine for my purposes here. And I bring them in, and I have one hookup inside the cabin and one outside that I alternate. And that wiring system through the cabin comes over to here, and of course it fires up the radio, but also I have a 12-volt power outlet like you have in your car, or at least you used to have, where you called a cigarette lighter. Well, I've got that power outlet, and I've got different cords, and like my MP3 player of listening to music, I can charge that. And also, as added to the unit, I have this is a Goal Zero power pack. And when I'm off wandering around, I can charge that up, and then I can actually charge 2 or 3 things off this at one time. Like I've got a little auxiliary speaker, I can power that up and run it. I've got my camera batteries. Anyway, this is all the different power things I have. And to maintain and to check the power of my batteries, I use a digital voltmeter, because you need to be right down to an analog just doesn't work for this purpose. And there's always a few extra spare cords and things. I run quite a few camera batteries, so I've got 4 extras plus the one in the battery, so I've always got 1 or 2 in my pocket. I'm out wandering around because these newer batteries, or the newer cameras, really go through batteries. I might get 20 minutes of making a video out of one battery. Oh, off, deep wood's off. Kind of an emergency air freshener. Otherwise, pretty well takes care of things. I do have a few battery powered clocks around in case I need it. And oh, this antique, the old Maglite that took double A's, we do keep batteries around, old school, but so many things now are going to be rechargeable that I don't need near the double A's I used to bring in here. So as I pack my food away, I have a list made out, little spreadsheet. Makes it easier to go along and put what's left, what I need, and so that next time I come up I know. But I'm always trying to ration things out, and come out here today, and it's a cold, it's a rainy day, and it's one of them days that a cook and serve chocolate pudding really hits the spot. And so I come across, well, I have 2 of these left, I only need 1. And I measured out my Nido, my powdered milk. That's a whole milk that really makes it excellent for puddings and such. Even with lukewarm water, they come out great. And I had exactly what I needed for that one last batch of hot pudding. So, here we go. Won't be long now. David? Jim? Kevin? Tim? Pudding's done. Oh, that's right. They lose. Not even the rain and the cold to keep the jays from the fresh wash water and the giblets it provides. The rain has lingered, not a lot, just enough to make it miserable. About 40 degrees out there, the wind's blowing pretty good, so I got all my stuff packed away. Having supper a little earlier than I thought, so anyway. My meat's still froze, but I'll get it out. Listen to the NOAA weather, and over to the northwest it got partly sunny, so I'm gonna kind of manage my time here and have an early supper and maybe be able to do. Well, I gotta walk up and get. I got one camera up in the beaver dam. I gotta go up and retrieve that, and I got my shovel up there, so I gotta take a walk anyway. And I'd rather do it without the umbrella, really. So we'll get supper out of the way and maybe some of the dishes and see what the evening has in store. I know, eating early, I do have a cherry pie reserved for later. Got a can of corn, that'll be quick. Don't even think about it. Hey! Get back here. Keep an eye on him up here. You get me in big trouble. Running out of time, I gotta go get that camera, but I'll probably get back and it won't be raining. I thought it might work out that way. Picked up the rain gauge on the way by. Since this little light mist like it's coming down right now woke me up this morning about 4 a.m. We've only picked up a half an inch of rain, and it's been going all day long, and that's the way a fall rain can be up here. Some may wonder why I'm not worried about my vehicle parked out there in the mud holes and getting out. Well, it was so dry when I got here, I know from past experience that it can take 2 inches of rain, you won't even know it. 4 inches of rain, and maybe them little streams will start to flow a little bit. And 5 inches over 4 or 5 days, you might start to get soggy. So, we've only gotten 1.8 inches in the whole month I've been here. So, it's good, but they're still a little down. Got my camera, brought a shovel back. Everything's back home.